Welcome to the CMO Spotlight, and I'm here with Devika Mathrani, who is the Chief Marketing Officer for NewYork-Presbyterian.
Never let yourself be bored. I feel that if you lose kind of your natural and organic passion or your natural curiosity or that sense of growing and learning, I think that you're not at your best. And I say to people, if you don't have an organic curiosity about the space that you're in or the work that you're doing, and you lose that, then step away. Because it means that you're probably not delivering your best. The people around you feel that, you feel that. And then the other thing that I think pairs with that is taking risk. I think your career is not about not taking risk. Your career is about figuring out what is the right risk to take. I am very much an activator. What I bring to the table is I get things done. But I think what fuels that activation is that I'm able to infuse energy into partnerships and relationships. And that combination of being able to build relationship, build partnership is what fuels my ability to activate. And that's sort of the asset that I bring to my team, because I'm able to bring people along for the ride. And that, it's not just me, it's me and my team, and it's all of our partners and the cross-functional sort of infrastructure that makes it all happen. The other thing I would say is I'm an all-in person. It's probably sometimes a good thing, probably sometimes a bad thing. And I think that's probably the biggest superpower I bring, not just to the work, but I think to my team as sort of an asset, because I genuinely feel like I'm here to work for them in order for us to deliver. I get inspiration from kind of the world around me. I try to be very observant and very tuned in to what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing just as a person. I try to be really observant and sort of bring those little nuggets of ideas or little observations that I have in the marketplace to my team and say, what would be the equivalent of that for us? Or if that's consumers' expectation today, how do we need to do something different? And I sort of drop these little germs of ideas and thoughts and try to just get us outside of our space. One is just an incredibly high level of integrity. I always say that integrity is at the core of everything that we do. And I have little tolerance for low integrity and accountability. Now, the other things that I look for to fuel them is a little bit of what I said earlier, people that are willing to take that risk, because I do think that there's sort of no reward without taking some risk. I also look for people who are organically passionate about the work, because I do think that I'm going to get the best of them. And also people who are sort of courageous and curious. I think people who ask questions, people who are looking outside for that inspiration, those are all sort of the qualities. And then the other thing that I believe is just a trait that matters in every role and to be successful in any way is being a strong communicator. But in whatever your own style is, people need to be committed to communication. Because if you don't, then you don't seem transparent. I joined the organization in July of 21. Very, very quickly, within days, almost acknowledged and realized that there was a need to refresh the brand. And the brand hadn't really been touched for the better part of almost 20 years. It was also a time where the world was still in COVID, but sort of trying to make our way back to quote unquote, whatever the new normal was. And so both our internal stakeholders, like our employees, and consumers in the marketplace needed a dose of inspiration. Like people were just looking for hope. And I wanted to open the aperture to the conversation we started with, which is that healthcare is not just about fix me, I'm sick. But healthcare is about being your partner in your wellness journey, from the things that you do in a preventative manner, all the way to the things that you might need from a reactive perspective. And so we sort of went out there in a very bold way and said, we're going to completely reposition the brand. We're going to launch this new brand, Stay Amazing. We had a new brand promise, which is about as your life evolves, like your world of wellness grows around you, and bring consumers into that conversation. And what makes me so proud of it is that the numbers show that it has had a significant impact. When I look at the number of New Yorkers who associate the new brand with us, almost in record time, it's 4 out of 10 New Yorkers actually associate it with us. The second thing I would say is, our engagement with our brand. And we were doing something that was very different, and we were reshaping what healthcare marketing is. It was about the people. And there was no playbook, and we took the risk. And that to me is what makes me so proud of that work. And we did it in almost 6 weeks. And then the flip side that I would say was an experience when I was at American Express. We were working on a product that was a very, very innovative product at its moment in time. And it was a product that allowed you to sort of customize the benefits on your credit card. And instead of having this predetermined package of these points and these rewards and this access, it allowed you to customize the card to say, well, this is the type of point accelerator I wanted, and this is the type of benefit I wanted. And what I would say is, it wasn't that it was a flop because the work was bad, but we, as a marketing team, I think didn't identify that we were a little bit ahead of its time. It was not at a time when people were creating custom playlists like they are today. And what I felt was we missed that the world wasn't quite ready for that. But at the time, we sort of missed that it was too complicated, and that didn't end up doing well. And so we learned a lot from that about make sure that you're totally in tune with the marketplace's readiness level for where you are. Even though you have an innovative idea, the market needs to be ready for it. Maya Angelou always said, people don't always remember what you say or even what you do, but they'll always remember the way that you make them feel. I think is just a beautiful quote from a beautiful author. And just makes me think a lot about my behavior and the choices I make and how I operate.